Just like that, welcome back to another episode of Survival Time. We finna get into what actually started the whole East Coast West Coast beat, because everybody think it's Pac. It was a series of events. It was a series of events that led to Bad Boy and Deathrow getting into it. The series of events from Suge Homie getting killed to the Dog Pound getting shot at in New York to even niggas allowing niggas to sample their music for free and niggas not returning the favor or acting all brand new and shit. But this is what really started it all, which was Suge Homie getting killed, which was Big Wolf. I think that's his name. No, Big Jake. That's his name, Big Jake. And he got killed by Wolf. That's what it was. P Diddy Homie killed him, and the nigga who killed P Diddy Homie was Big Meech Peoples. So Big Wolf got killed years down the line by Big Meech Peoples outside a club in Atlanta. But we finna see what the fuck happened, because I know this whole story all around has a bunch of fucking crazy ass side stories and side ventures. So we finna get into this one.
Welcome back to another episode of War in Cali. Big Jake was born Jake Robles in 1969. He will grow up in Compton, California, around the Campanella Park community, which is a Piru hood. Jake developed a major reputation in his community and was highly respected amongst his peers. His street activity led to a life of crime. Jake was first arrested for robbery at the age of 17 in 1987, and the arrest is something that continued. In 1988, he was arrested for drugs. In 1989, he was arrested for stolen property and a parole violation in 1990. In 1991, he was arrested for a felon in possession of a firearm that got him 16 months. By the early 90s, Deathrow Records headed by Suge Knight began to take off and become a major force. Suge growing up in Compton himself, he affiliated himself with the Pirus, and Big Jake was one of his closest friends. Jake was known to make money in the streets on his own, but with all the money that Deathrow was beginning to generate, he was all in. He started managing artists and playing his role in the early days of Deathrow, even playing enforcer and bodyguard for Suge. He appeared in a film called Dead Homies, detailing him and also his neighborhood.
I'm just gonna kick a little something. Everybody wanna know why people bang, why people kill, why people do this, sell dope. And you can't just look at the individuals, because you have to look at the environment that they're set in that creates these conditions for them to have to live and do the things that they do. And so we just kicking it like that. We ain't out here essing on our chest, but it's like everybody out here want to be a tough guy, killer, a gangster, you understand? But most of the killers and gangsters I know either got all day or dead. So everybody out here just living. So.
Shout out to him for saying that last part, but the beginning part is what be pissing me off with most niggas that be on the street, because they want to sound so intellectual. Okay, yeah, it's about the environment you putting people in, but at the end of the day, niggas have an issue with not looking for more information. Niggas only see one way. You know what I'm saying? Like Marlo said, you only wanted to be one way, but it's the other way. You see what I'm saying? It's the other way. The government running the shit. White people who own businesses running shit. Them Japanese motherfuckers that own businesses in your neighborhood are running shit. You're not running shit. You're just killing other motherfuckers like you, instead of actually building with them. When you could come together and actually make a business and shit like that. It's a million and one ways to get money. Niggas just see a nigga doing something and it look cool and they run with it, instead of wondering, okay, it might look cool, but is it gonna get me somewhere? Am I gonna be somewhere 10 to 20 years from now with that? Like, am I gonna be able to make an impact on my community with something like that 10 to 20 years from now? Like, niggas could talk all the shit they want to about the environment, but you create the environment that you stay in. You make it nasty, you make it dirty, you make it murderous, you make it hard to be a part of, you make it somewhere where nobody wants to actually live or support. You make the conditions that you live in. You clean and make your bed in your room every fucking day, then you live in a clean environment. But if you just waking up, leaving, of course you're gonna be in a dirty ass, filthy ass environment, and the people looking around you like, oh, that shit look cool. But they don't see that it's dirty as fuck in your environment. They don't see what's actually plaguing your environment is the laziness, the thought process of not understanding that there's other ways and routes of doing things, the thought process of not understanding that it's really nothing above your head but God, nigga. And when you learn that and you look to the sky and see differently, you'll know it ain't no limits and no condition that you ever lived in. It ain't nothing stopping nobody from nowhere in the world, bro. It's just you and God, bro. Now focus on your dream. But we finna get into this.
We kicking it from that perspective. It wasn't like no peer pressure thing, why I'm just jumping on the bandwagon. I'm gonna do this because all the homeboys doing it. My thing is like, growing up in a certain neighborhood, you have altercations with people that grew up on another part of a certain neighborhood, and you grow up and you know it's affiliation through association. And then coming up with that, you know what I'm saying? My mama just happened to have her house on the side where the red team was at. So there it is right there. And in doing that, you know, you growing up, doing everything out in the streets from murder, money, violence to sex, and the out of town, going out of town with the doing your work and all of this. That's all been done. You know what I'm saying? It's 94. You got to have a new twist with things. You know, I did a year juvenile. You know what I'm saying? 4.5 years in the state penitentiary. You know, I done been to damn near all of them. Folsom, Quentin, Soledad, you know, Jamestown, Solano, Vacaville, you know, on tour. So as far as like all the negatives I've seen, now in my life at this point, I'm making a transition to do positive things and to, you know, try to alleviate a lot of the bullshit that's going on out here in the streets with these youngsters that ain't knowing.
As the years went on, Deathrow Records became more successful. Jake's role grew bigger, and he was basically Suge's right-hand man. By September 23rd of 95, Suge was in Atlanta with Big Jake. Suge usually has a big entourage, but that night, it was just him and Jake, and they attended Jermaine Dupri's birthday party, which was at an Atlanta nightclub. Diddy was also there, and had a large crew of people with him. Just a month before, in August of 95, Suge did his infamous speech against Diddy.
I want to be an artist and want to stay a star. I don't want to have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the videos, all on the record, dancing. Come to Deathrow. I'm the executive producer that
Hey, shouts out to Danny Boy, cause he from Chicago. That's my nigga. You know he gay. He from Chicago. I gotta hold him down, cause he was one of the main niggas that was with Suge at that point in time. Like he was really riding with Suge at that point, cause he didn't have no homies on the West Side. He was coming from Chicago. He's a fresh meat ass nigga, so he didn't have nothing to do with nothing. But as far as what bro says about like, that's my point. You make your environment. Instead of coming together as brothers and sisters, we divide ourselves. We divide ourselves because of a street nobody owns. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just saying, oh, this nigga from there, that nigga from there. What up, bro? What up, bro? Hey, yo, I know this. You know that? I know this too. Hey, I'm interested in this. Some shit like that. Actually making some real substantial conversations with niggas. You gotta, oh, they from there. I'm from there. Mama had me on the red side. They was on the blue side. Well, what's fucked up about either or is you still gonna be beefing with blue and blue, or you might be beefing with red and red. It don't matter what side you on. It's about what neighborhood you in. So please explain to me, what the fuck like are we doing? And then later on down the line, Suge homies all started killing each other. Let's get real, bro.
Comment was made about a little bit earlier. But check this out. Contrary to what other people may feel, I would like to say that I'm very proud of Dr. Dre, of Deathrow, and Suge Knight for their accomplishments. And all this East and West that needs to stop.
Allegedly, Suge came into the party throwing his muscle and power around. There's several different reports from different interviews of what occurred over the years. Some stated Suge was pressing people, and even some stated he slapped Diddy and Jermaine Dupri. But this is all different narratives and different interviews and viewpoints, so anybody could be lying. An off-duty police stated he seen Suge and Jake getting into it with at least 6 Bad Boy members. The officer stated it seemed to start over a woman, and this later led to pushing and shoving. The altercation spilled outside where Suge and Jake were reportedly leaving, before shots at the end of the night were fired. As the night ended, Jake was laid out with 3 bullets in him, which he later died from.
And then you seen him standing there and he was shooting Jake. And I was standing right next to Jake, but being that I knew who the shooter was, I knew he wasn't gonna miss. And he was just close enough to handle what he was doing. So I sat there and I looked and I was watching and I saw him do it and I saw him leave. But
what you said something about in the book, you talked about he was like looking at Suge like your neck.
Yeah, he was looking when he was shooting Jake, he was looking at Suge to say this should have been you. But he couldn't shoot Suge because Suge had grabbed Puff and he had Puff in like a chokehold in front of him. So as the guy was shooting, he couldn't shoot Suge, because he would have shot Puff.
Many rumors speculate who murdered Jake. Some state Diddy's bodyguard, Wolf, who was eventually killed 8 years later in 2003.
Yeah, I mean, the story is that Big Jake got killed by Wolf, who was Puff's main bodyguard. Right. Wolf is dead as well. So, right. We're not, implicating anyone by statements like this. But, after it happened, the story was that Suge was blaming, since one of Puff's guys allegedly killed his man, he kind of blamed Puff for that. And, one thing started to lead to another. Blame for it and so forth. But I guess Wolf wasn't the one who did it, but still there was some sort of blame that Suge had on Bad Boy over that situation, right?
I don't know if Suge had blamed Bad Boy for that, because the situation never came when I got with him. The situation never came to us like that. Now, I've heard Wolf talk about it, and Wolf told me personally that he didn't do it.
Jake's death was the official fall-off point, and no comeback for anything affiliated with Deathrow and Bad Boy Records, and this eventually led to the death of both Biggie and Tupac, making this the deadliest beef in music history. Jake was 26 years old when he died, and his death is still a mystery on who 100% did it, with so many different accounts of that night.
Because I don't think everybody be sincere about, putting this gang thing behind us. And I know a lot of people been killed behind it, a lot of lives been taken, But my thing be like this. People want to be gangsters, they want to put work in, want to do this, but you can go around the corner and just shoot up 3 or 4 black men. The sheriffs get behind you. You got 2 AKs in the car, 4 Tech 9s, 10 pistols, and they tell you to freeze your stop. You understand? They only 2 individuals with 2 guns. You just went and shot 4 or 5 blacks up, but you freeze when they tell you. I'm saying if you're a gangster, sell the ranch, grandma, grandpa, the chickens, everything. If you're going out with bullets and gun smoke, don't just stop with yours. You understand me? Deal with it on that level if that's what you're doing. If you're not, get out the way. Let somebody else that is. Quit perpetrating.
This will conclude this episode. If you have
Shouts out and RP to that nigga, because he said what the fuck I always say, bro. If you gangster and you hard and you murderers like that, why are you stopping for anybody? You shouldn't nobody stop you for shit. And that's where niggas is perpetrating and faking. But he said some real shit at the end right there. Like, he really redeemed himself with that one. But I really want to know what the fuck was they feeding you niggas back then. Because these niggas, these 26-year-old niggas is pretty fucking big and grown fucking looking. That's all I'm going to say. But I really think it's the clone meat that they giving us. But no, on some real shit, like, when it comes to this situation, people need to understand there's a lot of shit that fall behind all of this. And I'm glad that it's being exposed more and more as the years go by, because Tupac gets blamed for a lot of bullshit by these goofy ass, groupie ass niggas like Snoop Dogg, Ice-T, etc., etc. And they make it seem like Snoop Dogg was out here acting like he was this, that, and the third, when in real time, it was a lot of shit that actually trickled down the tree that made Deathrow get into it, Bad Boy. And that even got Tupac involved, because now Daz is even speaking on the fact, but he been speaking on this, but he's on a bigger platform now as to where the internet is heavy now. Because back in the day, people didn't get on YouTube like that to still look up niggas talking and shit. Now they do. But as far as like Daz saying what he said, as far as like the Biggie to going on the radio and getting their trailer shot up and shit like that, that situation did happen, and that situation was also spoken upon by the security guards and all of that. And Snoop Dogg rubs that shit under the rug and clean that shit right the fuck up, which is crazy to me. But Daz and Corrupt is the only 2 niggas that ever always mentioned that. Suge even mentions that. But nobody mentions that's one of the reasons that Pac backed them. That's one of the reasons why you can find diss records with Snoop Dogg on them, with Tupac, and with Daz and Corrupt together, dissing Biggie and Bad Boy. And them even saying it in the song. We came out there to make a video and y'all niggas shot at us. Like, I didn't understand all of that pussy ass shit. And then they supposed to be so hardcore and so gangster and so gang banging about it and having so much control over LA and shit. But they copped out when they went to a whole nother city. And that's why I always tell niggas, you could be gangster where you from, nigga, but it's gangsters in other places. And when you go to other places, bro, don't be thinking that you gangster in them places, because these niggas don't know who you are and they don't give a fuck about your reputation, because they have the same reputation in some of these places, probably even worse. And that's my thing, nigga. Be cautious of how you moving at all times, and we need to come together as a people, because we keep acting like this don't have nothing to do with white people. We keep acting like this shit got something to do with racism. We keep acting like this shit got something to do with the politics. We keep acting like this shit got something to do with all of this other bullshit. Nah, man, it's our culture, it's our music, it's everything that we absorb. And that's one of the main reasons I'm glad NDRE said something, because like, niggas don't take music serious, and this really shows you how much people don't take things seriously. How much black people don't take serious. And it ain't and as much shit as we talk about politics, we don't take that serious. As much as we talk about our community being this, that, and the third, we don't take that serious. We don't clean it up. We don't try to vote or run for nothing in our community. We don't try to take no real control over our community. We just keep letting these people buy up buildings and property and run things. And then you have situations like where the little black boy get killed. When if you a black man, you might have felt some empathy for him and just gave him the damn water for free. Or you might have been like, all right, you know what I'm saying, just don't let me catch you in this store again. Versus somebody who has no ties to your culture, your roots, no understanding of who your people are. You know what I'm saying? Of course they gonna react a certain way because they reacting based on not knowing what the fuck may happen next. But you would react on some shit. I know I might have been in that situation, or I know people that was in that situation. I know what that person might need to hear. I know what I may need to do in this situation without having to get myself killed. It might even offer more jobs to the youth who out here doing dumbass shit to get money. Because as you can see, that's the problem. Niggas ain't getting no money. And that's the reason why a lot of niggas is dying nowadays. But that's always been a reason why niggas is dying. If it ain't been about money, it's been about money. If it ain't been about you not getting enough money, it's about you getting too much money. It's about you getting too much pussy. Like, niggas hate on you for anything. But my main thing is this. If all niggas will come together and actually acknowledge the fact that we all one and the same, bro. There's nothing that really separates you except for the fact that, nigga, you might be 6 feet. I might be this. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, it's blue in our veins, bro. Regardless, my nigga. My hair look like your hair, nigga. Don't matter how light I am, don't matter how dark you are, nigga. When people see us, we just what we are. Two niggas, two black men. And you gotta acknowledge and understand that. This man ain't have to lose his life at 26, nigga. That's a short time to live. And I be telling people, the older I get, the more I realize Tupac and Biggie was kids when they died. They wasn't even really fully adults yet. And I don't mean like they was kids on some, like, you feel me? But they was still growing up as being man. They didn't even have that opportunity for real. And as a kid, I used to kind of look at them as the grown-ups. But it's like now, it's like I just see them as like, okay, I see your mindset now, where you might have been at. I don't know the 100% of it because to me, Tupac was very mature for his age, but you still got to understand, he's still a young nigga. Same thing with Biggie. But y'all let me know what y'all think. I be really telling people about the Deathrow War, but they never believe me. And I have to break down everything, explain and pull out shit on them. But like, with the Big Jake thing, this was literally the event that set the whole shit off. Like, this was that event that made everything real. Fuck you talking about. And this was what made P. Diddy hire Crips to protect him when he came to LA. And this is what ultimately ended up with Tupac having to beat a nigga up for the chain situation and then getting shot after. You know what I'm saying? I'm gone though. Y'all let me know what the fuck is up, bro. Peace.
They know they really fooled. I'm confused. Since when did small fries make rules? I break those. Now bodies dropping like clues. The team masked up. We just call them who?